Oh, shucks, man. I'm trying to get this thing right here. Um, I guess this is good enough. I'll be blessed. Um, I'm trying to let y'all see my nice, pretty shirt. Okay, I guess it's about as good as it's going to get. Um, I have a book. Hello, everybody. I have a book review to do on G.W. Bush, Baby Bush, some call him, of decision making autobiography. Now, he spoke about a controversy about when he was in the National Guard and Dan Rather had accused him of not serving his proper time. But he said that there was type that was not used in his day, and therefore it was a forged document, and Dan Rather and his producer were terminated. Now let me get on to the next thing. Let's see here. His sister, Robin, died of leukemia. And I remember that the business about the Bushes pushing for the Americans with Disability Act, that might have been Papa Bush, was a very big deal. And the rapper Ice-T had made some crack in one of his rap songs about Bush and his crippled daughter. I guess it's talking about the same one. And of course, Ice-T had also starred in a TV series, Law and Order, and some movies, what have you. He also wrote a fine book. Alrighty. George Bush had mentioned that there was something called the Stafford Act that required the state authorities to deal with disasters before the federal government. And he mentioned that he was in touch with Governor B of Louisiana. I don't recall her name offhand. And he mentioned Ray Nagin, who was the mayor of New Orleans. Now, he did admit later that he had made some mistakes and he could have urged the state people to do more to get the folks evacuated sooner and things of that nature. But there was actually something called the Stafford Act that mandated the state authorities deal with it first. And he had said that as governor of Texas, he had dealt with a number of disasters. Okay. Mr. Bush said that he had observed cops stealing big screen TVs, I guess in Louisiana. Now, ironically enough, the news at the time was focused on the people living there, and we're talking about how they were stealing water out of stores, which of course they needed to survive. And I remember Oprah Winfrey had interviewed somebody who said that he commandeered a boat. And Oprah asked him, what did he mean by commandeered? And he said he stole it. But like I said, there was a lot of emphasis on the populace not stealing and protecting the property of the merchants. Let's see. George said how bad he felt about when people were put in a ballpark stadium to help them survive, and said that Jesse Jackson had said it was like the hull of a slave ship. And Bush mentioned Kanye West having said that Bush didn't care about the black people. Now, ironically enough, Kanye, since that time, of course, has gotten a controversy about jumping on the stage with Taylor Swift. And lately, there was a recording of a conversation with him and Taylor Swift about whether he was going to use a line in his song, but it may not have encompassed the exact nature of the comment that Kanye had made in his song. So Kanye's had a little controversy of his own, and of course he has married a Kardashian and has a baby by Kim Kardashian since that time, as I'm sure most of you know. George elaborated about how bad he felt that people felt that he was prejudiced and wouldn't do more to help people because they were black. And he mentioned that he had appointed the first 2 black secretaries of state and a national security advisor. And of course, that would have been, I guess Condoleezza Rice was the national security advisor, the first black secretary of state, followed by General Colin Powell. He discusses the financial situation. He said he found a buyer. He found a buyer for what is this? Bear Stearns Financial Organization, and said that he had allowed Lehman's to file for bankruptcy, but he had tried whatever financial maneuvers he could, including trying to get a British bank to buy it. And then finally, he created something called TART that was to deal with the financial situation, and that he initially couldn't get it passed, but then eventually did. They had a $700 billion bailout, and then discovered they needed an additional $100 billion. The Bush had mentioned in the book about the Social Security and I think the Medicare, but why would they want to balance the books on the backs of disabled seniors? And it has been alleged that a lot of money has been taken out of Social Security and not returned. It just seems that there could be a better way of dealing with these financial issues than tampering with what people have contributed to for their entire lives. Let's see. So I think that's about it. He touched on the war situation a little bit. He didn't go into any details about the weapons of mass destruction. He did mention that he had compassion and had authorized millions of dollars to help the people with AIDS over in Africa, and said that he felt that it was a security concern as well, so that people don't try to recruit people to, I guess, the radical Islam. But it's probably primarily a humanitarian situation, because in terms of strategy, the money would probably be better off to be here and strengthen the military and the financial situation, as opposed to doing that humanitarian thing wherein there are so many churches and private institutions that can deal with that. Now, I'm going to take a second or two to think if there's something else that I want to mention. I don't think so. Now, this book is available on YouTube audio. So you can get this book on YouTube audio. All right. And, let me knock this out here.